Hello and welcome everyone to Sugar Coated Homestead support video episode 3. This is what I left you with last time, and we are still far from completing the house, but we're getting there, and I think we'll get started by getting rid of all these yarn ends. We will make this edge on the roof first. On page 23 of the pattern you will see the roof laid down flat as I have it here, and we will make those edges from there to there and from there to there, and both sides will be done in the same way, and I will show you this side and then you will know how to do the other side as well. For the roof edge I will be using this white yarn again, and I'm on this roof part F, and I'm going to attach yarn in this corner here over the icing and through the pink roof part, through the first stitch there, pull up a loop, chain 1 and single crochet in at this point here. Work over this yarn end, so that will be 1 yarn end less. You can even work over this yarn end if you like. Then you'll have 2 yarn ends down, so single crochet there. That's your first stitch. You will now single crochet in all these sides of the rows of part F, the pink part here, and you will back post single crochet around all these parts where the icing meets the side. Push the icing to the side if you can't see it properly, and just single crochet in those stitches of the roof and back post single crochet around the icing on the roof. That's all. This is where F meets G, and I have made the back post single crochet around the icing here. Skip this if you don't feel comfortable with that. Make a single crochet in this stitch as well, that's no problem, 1 stitch more or less. Then back post single crochet around this point here as well. So just go under the icing, make your back post single crochet, and that's it. And then continue with your single crochets in the roof. And the last stitch I will make a back post single crochet around the icing here as well, and we have a neat connection there. So the next rounds is single crochet only, in total 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, so 4 rounds of single crochet, and then I'll get back to you. Last single crochet made. I've cut my yarn long enough to use it for sewing this together. So pull it up and out, and we can fold this over and sew it together. My yarn tails are all at the back here now. I'm just going to pull them to the front, because when you fold this over, and this is going to be sewed together over here, I'll show you in a minute, all those yarn tails can be hidden in this double fold here. The finishing touch on the roof is working away these yarn ends in this part that you're going to fold over and sew together to the roof. So what I'm using for sewing are these little loopholes here, and I'm just going to go under that stitch there and use both loops of that round 5 that you just made, and continue sewing in these loops here. So what you will see is that when that little envelope is ready, this is what I call a little envelope, you will not see these V stitches anymore. It will be closed over there. I'm halfway that little envelope there, and I'm just going to pull these yarn ends through in the envelope. Make sure your yarn ends are not lying over the icing like they are here. That's not nice. So I'm just going to work it under the icing, so. And then with your crochet hook, pull it inside that little envelope, and they are gone. So when this side is done, do exactly the same on this side. This is what the roof will look like after this envelope border is on there. Now lay this aside for a while. I know it's tempting to want to connect it to the house, but we are first going to make the snow around the base of the house. To crochet the snow around the base of the house, take this crocheted house off this cardboard structure and hold it in front of you upside down, like so. The first round is going to be crocheted in all these stitches at the base here and in the front loops only. And we will be starting in this first stitch here to the left of the doorway. That's where round 1 says to attach yarn with a slip stitch, chain 1 and single crochet. So front loops only in this round. How to make the snow around the base of the house is explained on page 27 of the pattern, and round 1 starts with 11 single crochet on part B. That's this part here. Any stitches that are not mentioned in this round are not crocheted in. So after those 11 single crochet, there will be 1 stitch left, and then skip the first stitch on D and crochet 3 single crochet on part D. Continue crocheting your single crochet in the front loops of the parts A and E and A, and then I will get back to you when I'm on part C again. So I've made those 14 single crochet on part C, and here the pattern says skip the last stitch on part C, this one here, and then 12 single crochet on part B. This is part B here, and we have the belt already there. So 12 single crochet. If you find it hard to find those 12, just count back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 12 will be around here. 12 single crochet on part B. 12 single crochet made on part B. Chain 8 loosely. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, and slip stitch to the first stitch of the round. Round 2 starts with a chain 1 and a single crochet in the same stitch. Chain 1, skip 1 stitch and a 5 double crochet cluster in the next stitch. I'll just show you one. So that's 5 double crochet that are not completely finished. That's the second, the third, the fourth and the 5th. Yarn over, pull through all loops on the hook. Chain 1, do not skip a stitch and single crochet in the next stitch. Chain 1, do not skip a stitch and make the next 5 double crochet cluster. So do exactly as the pattern says, and you should be able to work this round all around the base of the house. The 5 double crochet clusters should be looking like this. If they pop to the back, make sure you pop them all to the front. After this last 5 double crochet cluster, it says skip 1 stitch and single crochet in the last stitch before the doorway. And I probably went wrong somewhere. I have no stitches to skip. That's not a big deal. Just single crochet in that last stitch before the doorway. And now in the doorway, 8 single crochet in the back bumps of these 8 single crochet here, and we've crocheted in the back bumps before. Just turn it upside down and you will be single crocheting in these little bumps here. So 8 single crochet there. Round 2 ended with a slip stitch in this first single crochet here, and round 3 starts with a chain 1 which I already made, single crochet in the first chain space of round 2. Chain 1, skip 1 stitch and single crochet in the next chain space. Chain 1 and single crochet in the single crochet. That's the stitch here. I like to single crochet between these legs here. That's the prettiest. So there you go. Then there's a 4-timer repeat. Chain 1, single crochet in the next space. Chain 1, single crochet in the next chain space. the second, chain 1, single crochet in the next space, chain 1, single crochet in the next space. Those were the 4 repeats. Skip the next single crochet and the next chain space and single crochet in the next 5 double crochet cluster. I will single crochet right over here, chain 1, single crochet in the next chain space right over here, chain 1, single crochet in the next single crochet in between these 2 legs here. There you go. Chain 1 and single crochet in the next chain space. So just work this all the way around and it will start to look like this. You're making the base for the next round of double crochet clusters. Don't make these stitches too tight. Just chain 1, skip 1, single crochet in the next space, chain 1, skip 1, single crochet in the next space. And if you're going to make them too tight, your snow is going to be pulling around the house. So make these stitches loosely. Round 3 ends with 8 single crochet and a slip stitch in the first stitch of the round. In round 4 you will only be working into the chain spaces of round 3, and you will be alternating a single crochet in a 5 double crochet cluster. So now I've started the round with a chain 1, single crochet in the next chain space, chain 1, 5 double crochet cluster in the next chain space, 1 and 5, 6 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through, chain 1, single crochet in the next chain space. And this is the way to work round 4. Just do this all around. At the end of round 4, this is what the snow around the base of the house will be looking like. I've just put it back on the cardboard structure. This is tied together with a ribbon just to keep it, to hold those sides up. That's temporary. So the snow is going to be looking like this. And if you have a single crochet or a 5 double crochet cluster more than I counted, that's no problem at all. More is more, I'd say. So more snow, the more snow, the better. After round 4, we are going to add some rows of snow in front here. So row 5 and row 6 are still going to be added here. I'm at the beginning of row 5. I've counted 8 clusters to the right side of the door. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I have attached my yarn in the chain space to the right of that 8th cluster. Chain 1, skip 1 stitch, single crochet in the next chain space, chain 1, skip 1 stitch, single crochet in the next chain space, and repeat that 15 times, and then single crochet in the doorway here. After the 10 single crochet in the doorway, single crochet in the next chain space over here, chain 1, skip 1 stitch, single crochet in the next chain space, and that's repeated 6 more times. Then single crochet and fasten off, and you will have extra snow on the left hand side here as well, or the base for the next row of snow. Row 6 starts in the first chain space of row 5. So where row 5 started to the right of this 8th cluster here, this is the first chain space, and that's where you start row 6. And we have done that before. It's a double crochet cluster in one chain space of the previous row, and then a chain 1 and a single crochet in the next chain space of the previous row. So just do as the pattern says, and I will get back to you. And here you see what that last row of snow will look like. Add more rows if you like. I'm leaving it at this. And next up we are going to install the front door and the door frame so that it's going to look more like that. The pattern for the front door is explained on page 29, and here I have combined rows 1 and 2, like I combined all the rows 1 and 2 for all these parts. Instead of making a chain with the single crochet in the back bumps, I just made an I-cord. And so here I have an I-cord of 9 stitches. And now I'll explain to you how to make the star stitch. Row 3 starts with a chain 3. To make the first star, turn your work and pick up 5 loops, and the first loop will be picked up in the second chain from the hook. Then pick up a loop in the third chain from the hook. Pick up a loop in the first, second and third single crochet down here. So this is the first, the second and the third single crochet. Yarn over and pull through all those 6 loops on your hook. And that is your first star. Chain 1 to close. The next star is going to be made in this star, and you are going to pick up 5 loops again. The first loop is going to be picked up in the eye of this star here. So that's the first. Then you pick up a loop in the front loop of the 5th loop of the previous star, and that's this loop here. So insert your hook there, pick up a loop there. Then pick up a loop in the stitch that the front loop, that 5th loop was made in. That's this stitch here. So that's number 3. And then 2 more in the next single crochets. 4 and 5. Again, you will have 6 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through all 6 loops and close it with a chain stitch. And that is how to make the next stars. When 4 stars are made, close this row with a double crochet in the same stitch as you picked up the last loop. So in this last stitch here, double crochet, and that was row number 3. For row number 4, chain 1, turn, 2 single crochet in the eye of each star. So 2 single crochet in this one here and in all the next stars. These little holes here are the eyes of the stars. 2 single crochet in each of those eyes. Last stitch of this row is a single crochet in the rear loop of this last star here. So if you turn your work around, you will see that this is the rear loop here. Insert your hook there, and that's where you single crochet in. So that was row number 4, and this is what it should look like. Repeat rows 3 and 4 till the door is 5 stars high, and you end the door with a row 4. Then you can fasten off. And this is what you should end up with. So 5 rows of stars, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This wreath that goes on the door or on the window or in any other place in the house you like. It will look nice on the windows as well. I won't show you how to do that because that's easy. It's just 20 half double crochet in a magic ring, and do not pull the magic ring close tight, as you can see here. Then there's a little ribbon that can be attached to the wreath or to the top of a Christmas tree, or even cover the whole Christmas tree with little ribbons. The ribbon is really quite simple. Chain 2, I have the magic ring there, 1 half double crochet, splitting my yarn, chain 2 again, slip stitch in the magic ring, pull that magic ring tight a bit, chain 2 again, 1 half double crochet, chain 2 again, and slip stitch in that magic ring again, and then cut your yarn, fasten off, and pull everything tight. and you will have a little ribbon that you can attach anywhere. And what I like to do is I like to wrap this yarn around the center of the ribbon and then pull that tight and then attach it to where you want to attach it. For that little doorknob, I used a hook size 2 millimeters, and this yarn and color is Glamour yarn. The pattern for that is really very simple too, so I won't show you that. Attach the wreath to the door by just inserting the yarn ends through different little holes in that door and tying them together at the back. And don't worry about yarn ends, because there will be another door side on the inside that will cover that up. So you can use these yarn ends of the wreath, just pull them through there, tie them together, and the wreath will be tied to the door. And then do the same for the doorknob. This is the door so far, and this is what it looks like at the back. And no need to worry about those yarn ends, there will be another layer over this to cover this. First, we will make the door frame in here. To make the door frame, I will be using this white yarn again, and we will be crocheting in these little holes along this line here. So not in these holes that are closest to the door opening. And you are going to start with a standing single crochet, so with a slip knot on your hook, and the first stitch will be made down here around this stitch here, just above the snow. And because you're inserting your hook around that stitch, that's why I call it a front post single crochet. But you'll agree it's just a simple single crochet. That's your first standing single crochet down there, and the next single crochet is going to be made in these around this stitch here, through these little holes here. And just work your way up to the top of the door frame, 19 single crochet according to the pattern, and then work to the left and down to the bottom, and then the door frame will be ready. There's the door frame in place, and now we can sew the door, the front door, to this side here. And I'm going to sew it high in that opening, because you want to lay a doormat on the floor down here, and if the door is in there too low, you won't be able to open the door. The first stitch to make to attach the door to the frame should be about here. So that's too high, this will be too high, and that will be too low. So attach the door frame, the first stitch here, make the first stitch there, just using those little holes there and going through the door, through one of those loops that you can find there, and then into the next loops and through the door again. This is what it should look like. And you will have this gap here, and that's okay, because if you're going to put a cookie on the floor there, you can still open the door now. The pattern for the inner door can be found on page 31. Here is my inner door. It's just single crochet all the way. I combined rows 1 and 2 in a I-cord again. And now we can sew this inner door to the back here. And it will give that front door some more stability. And pattern says sew the inner door to the back of the pepper door. This is the pepper door. I will be honest with you, I frogged one row of this inner door. It was sticking out at the top and it didn't fit nicely. So now that's 1 row less, and I can sew it to the front door, and I've got that front door flat, and I'm just going to sew little stitches onto the front door along this line here, sewing along the bottom of the doors. I'm just picking up or sewing through 2 loops, 1 loop on each part of the door, and sewing up the front side of the door, just 1 loop on each part as well. I have dressed the cardboard house again just to see what this all looks like, and that's looking good. I did not close the top part here If you feel you need a stronger door, you can insert a piece of cardboard there, or just for fun add a letter to Santa Claus. And now I'll make the doorstep with you. How to make this doormat is explained on page 32 of the pattern. Round 1, I just made round 1 here, the 3 single crochet and the 5 half double crochet in the magic ring. Continue till you finished round 4, and then I will show you how to finish the mat with this surface stitching here. The swirl on the doormat is simply surface crocheting, and I made a little knot, and then I'm going to pull that through from the back. So insert your hook here, so not in the magic ring but just outside the magic ring, and pull that slip knot to the front. So now it's on the hook, pull it to the front and keep your working yarn at the back and insert your hook in the next little hole, pull up the yarn and pull it up to the back, and make sure that knot is still at the back, and just keep going till you are at the end of this little mat, and you will have the swirl on top of it. Do not make the slip stitches too tight, otherwise your mat will curl. And when this is done, you will have a doormat or a lolly. You can use this for any decoration on the house. And this is a very easy decoration to make. So that's what it's going to look like. When you have chosen the colors for your doormat, I'm choosing this one, use these yarn ends to sew the doormat in place, and sew it in place onto the snow in front here and a little bit on the belt there, so that this gap here is covered. I attached the doormat while the house was on the cardboard house, because then you know where to stitch and you won't have anything pulling in the wrong places. And all you need to do is attach a couple of stitches here and a couple of stitches up at the side here, and that's it. Next, I will be attaching the roof to the house with you. To sew the roof to the house, just lay the parts out in front of you like I have here, so that you know you are going to start connecting the proper parts together, the right parts, and I am going to start connecting this side A to the roof. And you will start at the top and sew this together. So sew along this line here till you reach this point here, and you will have 3 rows of the roof sticking out. That is correct, and that should be left like that. So I will sew this part down here first and start at the top, center it here, and this white edge will stick out on the front, and the 3 rows will stick out at the bottom. And just make simple stitches, and this is where you're using that yarn end that was in the way all the time. And I like to just insert the needle under those white stitches and then back up in the green, and you will have a neat finish here, and the sizing will be right. So I'll do this side first and I'll get back to you. When you have this part attached and your yarn end is still long enough, leave it there, because you can use it later to attach the front as well. Sew the other side together in the same way, and then move to the other side of the house and attach that roof part A to the roof as well, in the same manner as we just did. I'm sewing this last side together while the house is on the cardboard. Somehow that does feel easier, but you don't have to. You can just have it loose from the cardboard and then sew it. Both sides A have been attached to the roof now, and on both sides there are 3 rows sticking out. So here's the other side. 3 rows sticking out, and now we are going to attach the back of the house to the roof. And in the pattern it says have 3 rows sticking out. 1, 2, 3. I think I'll have 4 rows sticking out. So just sew along the top stitches of the wall here, the green part, and into the same row along the roof here. That's easy. Just use the same line of holes all along to the end, and you will have a straight fitting. While you're sewing the stitches on the roof, make sure you don't stitch entirely through the whole roof, because you will have green stitches sticking out on the front. You don't want that. So just use this one little loop here, and that's fine. And work your way along the roof, picking up the same loop of each stitch as you go along. Here the back of the roof is attached to the back of the house, and this is what it's looking like from below. The sides are attached as well, sewn together. This one as well. I might just do this one again because I think that's pulling. So I'll get that done neatly. And we will continue sewing the house together, the roof to the house, in the next episode. I'm trying to keep these episodes in 1/2 hour bits. So I'll leave you at this, and I hope everything was clear and it was helpful. And thank you for watching, and see you again next time. Bye bye.